Hello, and welcome. I have a confession to make. I enjoy Isekai. Why? Well, why do dads watch the PGA Tour or middle-aged women read romance novels? Because we all enjoy our easily accessible escapism fantasies. And with Isekai, I am allowed to live out my wildest fantasies, watching somebody else be a badass. Now, in the winter season, I only watched 2 Isekai, and one of them was legitimately one of the best anime of the year so far. So for this reason, I decided that enough was enough. I wasn't engaging properly in my generic self-insert power fantasies and doubled my quota. I thought about making a video for each of the Isekai I'm watching this season, but then I realized, why not just go over all of them in this video? So, you should join me as I continue my journey to discover the perfect anime. The first Isekai I'll be going over is I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. Now, that's a classic light novel title right there. This anime is about Yuya, a kid who's taken L's all his life because he is fat and therefore must be shunned by polite society, until one day he gets jacked and must be accepted by polite society. I have to commend this anime for actually having a pretty decent first episode. The amount of abuse this guy takes is heart-wrenching, from his peers, his job, his family. But his granddad liked him enough to leave him a house after he died. He stumbles around a bit and uncovers a door to another world. Just by spending one day here, he gets a ton of overpowered weapons, increases his stats, which cause him to get into shape in real life.
I was a wimp before!
Isekai bullshit!
Now I'm a jerk and everybody loves me!
And even scores some dash, which makes me believe that this Isekai world is just a money laundering scheme. The animation is quite good here too. For the first episode. Afterwards, it enters slideshow mode for the majority of the season. This anime had a promising start, but I've been disappointed in how it's been progressing. I mean, I guess it's my fault since, it's just one of many seasonal isekai, but I feel like there was a lot of effort put into the first episode. It has gotten better with some recent episodes, and I like the fact that Yuya still retains his original personality. He's overpowered as all hell, but still has major insecurity from his rough life. He's always been a genuinely good guy. He cares about others, wants to do the right thing. He once saved a cat from a burning tree by eating the tree. Suddenly being relocated from his high school in Gary, Indiana, to a prestigious one where he immediately becomes the center of attention and gains friends results in a bunch of whiplash for the guy. And all the side characters react to him like he's one of the female characters of Rent-A-Girlfriend. He's just casually walking his dog outside, and women can't help but oogle and google, giggle and pickle, gawk and want to suck his cock at the guy simply for existing. I want to mate impress him! Yeah, it's shameless wish fulfillment, but overall, I'm still watching and enjoying it for the most part. I like how the MC is rather calm about his situation, plus the show overall is very pretty to look at. But not as pretty to look at as the next Isekai, My One-Hit Kill Sister. This should be rather degenerate trash. But for some reason, they went absolutely ham animating this. Seriously, the amount of effort put into the show is remarkable to say the least. And if an anime like this is getting this kind of treatment, could it be that Isekai is getting better? I see. There's that 6 on Mal. Okay, let me get this straight. We've had the mom Isekai, now we've got the big sister Isekai. Can we please get Grandma Isekai next? And can it please feature Seiko from Dandadan? Back to the anime at hand. Believe it or not, I'm actually going to recommend this one. It is absolutely degenerate garbage, but I'm the trash man, so why would I know any better? Like I mentioned, the animation has been incredible for this series. And despite how Mayane can act, it's heartwarming seeing a sibling relationship in anime where both of them really care about each other. That was part of the reason I really enjoyed Onimai last season. The relationship between Mahiro and Mihari was extremely wholesome. Going into this, I didn't know why the guy had to be isekai'd if he is completely useless, while his sister is essentially a final boss in this world. The title of the anime isn't exaggerating here. Mayane is capable of just about everything. She can punch dragons like they're nothing, level entire ecosystems. When she was a baby, she mauled pit bulls. And yet, what matters to her is that she wants her brother to have someone with him. You see, Asahi here got isekai'd by getting hit by a wandering truck-kun and has been hospitalized ever since. In his comatose state, he kept mumbling about being in this fantasy world and having to come back home. Mayane's reaction to this was the natural response: to hit your head against a wall enough times to get isekai'd too. But there's this overarching feeling of loneliness and despair for potentially losing a family member, which is portrayed beautifully in the ED of the show. Yeah, it's still trash, but I've been enjoying it way more than I probably should, and hey, that's good enough for me. Watching anime like this is like eating ice cream. It's not good for you, but I'll eat something healthy later. However, why don't I talk about an isekai that's actually really good? Dead Mount Death Play sounds like the most cursed search result you can possibly get on FetLife, but hear me out. This one has a unique premise. It begins exactly as you would expect, with the legendary hero facing off against the Necromancer, the Corpse God, until the battle comes to a sudden conclusion. Next thing, you see the main character was transported to modern-day Tokyo. That's right, this is a reverse isekai. Now you can watch this and tell all your friends how cool you are. However, life is kinda hell for the MC here, as immediately he's targeted for execution, since the body he took over was someone freshly murdered. He's still able to use some of his abilities from the world it came from, and that's about all the recap I'll give of episode 1. Because it has a plot twist within it that I'd rather not spoil here, since it got me hooked. But if that's not enough to bring you in, then this is based off of a manga written by Ryogo Narita, the creator of Baccano and Durarara. So, you know that it's going to have a bunch of plot twists and characters. Loads of characters. Get a look at all these characters. We have characters that are characters. You can't get enough of characters. I've said characters so many times, I'm suffering from semantic satiation. I think that this is a decent watch, and if what I've said hasn't interested you yet, then I'll let you know. The main character is named Polka. That's just amazing. So, those are 3 isekai I'm watching this season, of varying degrees of quality, but I can't help but think I'm missing something here. Oh my. It's amazing. Everything you just saw is 100% unedited, exactly from the episode they came from. KamiKatsu, working for God in a godless world, is my biggest surprise this season, and a legitimately great anime. Yes, even with the CGI beasts and the tractor, beautifully animated tractor. Heck, it wasn't even on my watch list, but I had to check this out after all the memes I've seen. And I am not disappointed. The story focuses on Yukito, a guy thrown into the sea by his own father to better commune with the god that his family has formed a cult around. As he drowns in the waters that he was chucked in, his dying wish is to be reborn in a world without gods, so he doesn't have to live his sorry life again. Well, turns out that wish comes true. He wakes up in another world where the concept of religion and gods doesn't exist. People in this world have no frame of reference for what an afterlife, deities, or anything fantastical, not even magic, is. If you hear somebody sneeze in this world and you tell them bless you, they'll turn around and say,
"Who you calling bless, buddy?"
Half of this anime is just one giant shitpost going from ridiculous jokes, antics, and animation, and the other half is a dark story focusing on morality in a susceptible to influence world. Rather quickly, Yukito discovers this world isn't the paradise he was hoping for, as it's customary to willingly give up your life here. He lives in an isolation camp for people who refuse to accept the status quo. However, that doesn't stop the government from coming to town and doing their own thing anyway. In an act of desperation, the god that Yukito's family worshipped turns out to be real and uses her power to bring everyone to safety. She can't do much else since a god's power is directly tied to how many worshippers they have, so the solution is to convince as many people to believe in and worship her through any means they can. I didn't expect an anime like this to pose so many ethical and moral questions regarding what kind of ideas would be okay to spread in a world like this. But hey, I guess anything goes here. The plot twists are great too, and have you itching to see what happens next. If it'll be more world and character development, or more of the animators saying, "fuck you." And honestly, I'm happy with both. The studio knows what they're doing here, and I am all for it. KamiKatsu has got me hooked, and as the series progresses, it keeps taking more and more darker turns, which I'm glad that they're not afraid to delve into. With how much of a pleasant surprise KamiKatsu is, it's definitely bringing us one step closer to finding the perfect anime. As I wrap this video up, I just want to say thank you all so much for watching my recent video, which got me to 100 subs. I'm still new to this whole YouTube thing, and I decided I want to try experimenting making some medium-length videos like this one too. So if you can let me know what you think, that'd be really appreciated. And if you like this video, then be sure to worship for more low-budget tractors. Thank you for watching, and my spring tier list will be next video.